There was about 30 officers who came down last week, and they were part of the tactical response unit.
Then the cops arrived, and when the boys in blue arrived, everything got a bit more hectic.
It's one big act of bullying, and yeah, that's why I'm back here. I won't stand for that.
Shame! 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 Shame!
Let him hug his son. 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 Let him hug his son.
You're standing up for what you know is wrong.
They've been detailed here at the moment to stop this threat, to stop this child hugging his father.
We came down today for a protest on the Kangaroo Point Hotel that has been turned into a prison for refugees. And I'm happy to tell you about the messed up things that just happened down the road.
Justice for refugees! Justice for refugees! Justice for refugees! Justice for refugees!
The energy was good. We were making our voices heard. The tactical response team, the police, like riot squad basically, lined up on either side of us. The police started moving us in and forcing us onto the footpath. There was nowhere for us to go. They were forcing us against walls. They were forcing us between the other line of police behind us. They were pushing people. I was right up the front on the line against the police, you know, trying to move back, but you're pushing us back, they're pushing us in.
Off the road!
Where do we go? Where do we go?
Down the footpath.
Wow! There are people behind us! There are people behind us! How do we move? Don't touch me! We can't move! Hands up! Don't shoot!
Breach of the peace, mate. You're detained for a breach of peace. Relax.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Relax, hands down.
It's I'm relaxed, I'm relaxed, I'm relaxed.
And it has struck home seeing the organisers of the community picket line being arrested this past week. This is a clear message from the Queensland Police.
The main concern right now is police violence. That's the biggest threat to public safety right now.
I can tell you that you don't need to worry about it.
Last week you arrested me unlawfully. There's no reason.
I wasn't working.
I'm leaving!
If I was trying to leave and they stopped me leaving...
Thank you. Step into the back of the van. Watch your head, please.
Just for the record, I was moving, I was complying with the police direction. I was in my vehicle seeking to leave and they've arrested me.
Step down. Thank you very much.
This is a disgusting abuse of justice.
Please remove your legs.
We've had to be very careful about what we're doing outside the hotel. The protests have been quite heavily policed. There's two right behind the camera actually right now. But yeah, they kind of stand around and try to intimidate people. They get up in your face, they threaten you. It's one big act of bullying.
I direct you to immediately leave. All the businesses around, we've done extensive inquiries with these businesses. Their businesses have been significantly impacted over the last couple of days, okay, and including today. So that's why you're getting that direction, is because that business is being affected by causing angst and anxiety to people.
If you happen to walk past the hotel itself, very quickly you realise that the police are not happy about you being there.
6 other people were fined. 1 person was arrested and taken away in the back of a paddy wagon and dropped off at a nearby train station.
They didn't charge me, they just took me away in the van and then just dropped me off at a train station, although they had said they were going to be taking me to the watch house.
Looks like another woman here has been pulled up.
I require you to stand there to answer my questions.
Sure.
Okay, and why are you videoing?
Am I not allowed to film? Or you're saying...
Well, you're filming a protest which is unauthorised by the courts today, so you don't need to film that, so you need to move on.
It was pretty clearly targeted at a political activity, and in particular activities that have been organised to highlight the needs of refugees.
The aim of Sunday was to show our solidarity with these men and to show that we care and that they're welcome here.
It's really painful just thinking how it's just one wall that's keeping us from these men. We've been 24/7 blockading here. We wake up the same time, we go to bed the same time, and we haven't even had a chance to eat together. We haven't had a chance to share a meal with our friends inside. We wish you could have been part of the barbecue or have some of our food now. I know that Mama Saba from Mua's restaurant did bring us a few meals, and I think it's not too much to ask if we could share a meal with the guys, right? I think it's very reasonable. I know that you guys have been serving these men frozen meals.
We decided that we want to have one demand that we can ask the police and the federal government, and that we would not leave until that demand is met. We lined the fences with foods to build bigger tables, not higher fences. Yeah, we really thought that the men could enjoy a meal with us. They live here with us, they see us eating all the time, so that was our demand, that was the main goal of yesterday's rally.
It's pretty basic just to be able to eat some food, and it's not a big ask, and we want to know why they can't just get this food that we brought to them. There's a wall between us and we want to eat with them.
Let them eat!
So we're going to have 7 minutes of silence, and then after that we want these men to be able to eat that food, and that's what we're going to fight for.
$2,536 days in detention is absolutely disgraceful, and we want all the men inside to know how much we love you and we support you and we stand with you and we welcome you to the community. I also want to acknowledge the 13 lives lost to offshore detention, and we're sorry that we didn't get a chance to welcome them to the community. We're sorry that they left their homes to look for safety and ended up in the cruel hands of the Australian government. None of them made it past the age 35, and we wish we could have welcomed you into our community.
All right, are Serco and the police going to let these men get this food? He's going to let the people who are locked up eat some decent food? Let them eat! 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 Let them eat!
We had them ready to hand over the fence to them, and we wanted to give those meals to our friends.
Just take the food in. Mate, I got no control over food. So. Take the food under the steps. Just do it. I totally support what you guys are doing. Yeah, just take the food under the steps. You're the Queensland Police. You have the authority to take the food under the steps. I'm just an individual. I'm not the police. I'm just an individual.
Once we've put up the meals on the fences, it would have been very easy for the police to speak to someone who's in a position of power to be able to get the meal the meals to the men, whether that be through, going through quarantine or even to start a negotiation process. But what we received was a hard decline. There was no process at all. It was a simple answer of no. We will not contact anyone. We will not negotiate. And that's when we decided to stay on the road.
If they tell us to leave before they've given the food, I'm going to sit in the middle of that road and I'm going to refuse to move. I've been here for 17 days straight. I can stay a little longer. To me, giving food to these men is a perfectly reasonable demand. I'll be sitting in the middle of that road. Hands up, who else wants to sit with me? Let's do it. Let's sit until these men are fed. We're staying.
So we've got a situation where you've got maybe around 500 people that are refusing to leave until food is delivered. So
we have no control over food.
No,
as police. It's up to them.
So who can we negotiate with? We haven't had any negotiations.
Well, it's not up to the police. We're only here for public safety and everyone else's safety.
So would it be safer to arrest people right now and push them off the road or leave them?
Well, that's the thing. Give it 50 minutes over that extended court period. So that's the next step for us.
But in terms of safety, do you think it's going to be safer to arrest people?
Oh, look.
I mean, I know you don't make the decisions, but they're refusing to leave. They're not going to move.
Another choice is that you can let these people stay here until they burn out. Or until Serco gets sick of the shenanigans. Whatever it is, there's so many other options.
On Sunday's protest, I was police liaison. At the end of the rally, I was negotiating with police to allow protesters to stay on the road until our demand was met.
You can see the police are moving in there.
Stand up and move off the street. If you fail to comply with direction from a police officer, you can be arrested. Do you understand?
Let them eat and we'll move on. Let them eat and we'll move on. It's simple as that. Hold tight. Keep it tight. Hold your body in tight. Hold your body.
we're all peaceful here. None of us were trained in military. None of us know how to fight if it comes to combat. None of us have any weapons.
In my role, it's also to try and keep people safe as well. So I was going around letting the protesters know that the police were going to move in, give a move on order, and then if they hadn't moved on, they were going to come in and arrest people. So I was going in like letting protesters know what was going on. And then I saw riot police be really aggressive towards protesters. They were being really, really rough with them. So I went in and I was filming the police and I was calmly telling them, hey, that's not safe. Can you please just like calm down? That's not safe. It's not safe, mate. You need to back off. Thank you. Stand down. Stand down. Stand down. Stand down. That is not safe. That is not safe. And I was doing this in a really calm manner and I was filming a cop. And then I had my camera out and a cop hit my hand to stop me filming, and then as a result my hand went down, and as my hand went down it touched a cop's his chest, and then as soon as that happened the cop just looked at me and he was like, that's assault, get them for assault. I did not hit you. And he chased after me and I just walked away because I was like, that's not assault, so I just walked away. And then I came back to the protest because I was still in the police liaison role and I just wanted to make sure things were going okay. And then that's when they arrested me for alleged assault.
What are they arresting her for?
What are you doing? Get off her! She's a police liaison! What's your fucking name? Hey, why is she here? It's a fucking liaison! It's the liaison! It's the liaison! Shame! Fuck you! Fucking
The police have a very clear strategy in place, which is to target organisers. And yesterday, it just goes to show that that's what they were doing again. I didn't assault a police officer, but they just, because I'm an organiser, they just wanted to pin me for something, anything.
While I was speaking on behalf of a teenager protester who was in a very distressed state, another police officer approached me and gave me a move-on order, which meant that I had to leave, otherwise I could risk arrest. And I said that if you don't allow me to do the job that I'm here for, then you might as well take me, and I was arrested.
The police come almost every single day in masses and in force, and it's really clear what they're trying to do is they're trying to clear us out, they're trying to silence us because this is a huge governmental human rights violation, so they're trying to do everything in their power to move us on and silence us and target us. They didn't have to forcibly arrest people and be super aggressive. They could have just let us stay on the road until that request was granted to us, but they chose to aggressively arrest 40 peaceful protesters instead.
They're never going to break our spirits. And while this oppression and exploitation goes on, we will come out and keep fighting. And if we keep doing what we're doing with the last 12 weeks of protest, coming back, staying here, not being moved on, and not being discouraged by the intimidation by the police, then we will win those 3 demands. Free the refugees, let them stay, end mandatory detention.
We're here every single day and we're going to keep on fighting until our demands are met.
There's no justice in this world. There's no point in keeping score. Some got it bad, some got it worse. There's no justice in this world. Sometimes your best just ain't enough. Some other guys have all the love. So I guess I'm waiting for the last to be first. There's no justice in this world.
The Australian government will continue to implement tough measures to protect our borders. The way to Australia is closed.
The police's role is not to defend the federal government, it is to keep people safe, and we are not causing any safety concerns while we are here.
There's no justice in this world.
They have stolen our lives.